Hi everyone, hope all you guys are doing good and to be able to get it introduced myself, my name is Rizwan and I am one of the senior consultants here working with Alif Consulting, and this time we are going to cover with this topic which is termed as spam filters. Spam filters within Office 365. What is a spam filter? How does it work? As it would be the core component of the mail flow, or we can term it as Exchange Online Protection. How does it works with Office 365, and what are the core topics and the core requirement for it? So when we say Exchange Online Protection or spam filter, the most important criteria or the aspect for us for an email flow or an email ecosystem to be working would be its filtering services and the security which an email service or an email gateway provides to us, no matter whether it is any such vendor like Microsoft, Mimecast, Barracuda, Proofpoint, or any such any third party filtering services. The most important thing is how these terminologies are being taken care when it comes to email security, and how is your data, your emails specifically, to be specific, are being more secure on these channels. So protection is always an important concept from the point of view of spam and malware, where if these things are usually not get tracked on time, and once these vulnerabilities entered into your organization, it could make an impact of being having the most data loss, and also there would be some um, additional I would say issues getting and created at the recipient side by clicking on those URLs. So customer education, email security, and there are many more things which comes into existence to be able to provide a layer of protection, security, and features, so that these things are being taken care and are being taken seriously, so that even if there are some users within your organization who may or may not get that tech savvy and get it quickly approached with this habitat, so it could be a possible feature that you may your system, your filtering service is such as hard coded that no such person would actually be able to go across it, whether it is some fishy attack coming in the form of artificial intelligence being used it badly, and whether it is some custom vulnerable attack which is being taken or which is being done or implemented across your filtering services, your filtering gateway services. And time to timely manner, even your global administrators or exchange administrators, the one who deals with security nowadays, Microsoft came up with the Defender portal services, Defender securities, which takes care of your email services, your anti-phishing policies for different approaches of data locations like OneDrive, SharePoint, and you can also secure your Windows 365 or your operating system to deployed in virtual environment. So things have started minimizing, and the minimalistic pressure is given, and ease of access is being focused on a very wide scale. So whenever you would be getting in an exchange online product or an exchange online product protection EOP plan, there would be few such things when you should be able to understand the architecture, as if how does EOP or Exchange Online Protection works within Office 365 or Microsoft 365. So this is a very old architecture being defined by Microsoft itself nowadays. I doubt whether you would be getting in this diagram on either of Microsoft sites or any third party sites. So this is going to explain you as if how does an email enters into Microsoft's environment. This is all about receiving an email from an external source, that is internet. So we'll get it started right from the top, that is internet. Whenever you receive an email from the internet, that is internet, so it first catches the MX record of your domain. Definitely that domain has to be added within Microsoft 365 services, so that it reaches from external DNS to your Office 365 environment. So where it says EOP, if you are able to see my mouse, this is still the external part. EOP gets started from here. Okay, this is only the EOP which we would be focusing on, and this EOP comprises of these four layers in over here: one, two, three, and four, and passing on through to these four layers, then there is something beneath transport rules. Now it is also the ATP which is being the man in middle, wherein the ATP check happens somewhere within in between the transport layer and the content filtering. So content filtering and these all are a part of customized filtering services. Will be quickly walking you through that. So how it is this going to be? The very first thing which comes into the moment your email enters into the EOP base, so the very first thing it is going to look upon is the connection filtering settings. Now, to be able to get this understood, I'll tell you what is it. So connection filtering, if an email is coming from such an IP source whose IP reputation is bad, the IP reputation is not good at global DNS level, automatically the email is going to set go to the deleted items. Means the email, this person's mailbox is here before even being checking or checking pass with these layers. Automatically EOP is being designed in such a format, or it is being hard coded in such a format that the emails would directly go to the deleted folders container. So this deletion is something that it would throw away the email out of the EOP filtering layer service, and it would be having no track, and whenever you would be performing a message trace for these kinds of messages, you would see a blank result. So you would only see a result for a message trace once it reaches your transport layer rule, not even on anti-malware. Similarly, if someone would be trying to send out an email from internet, and if see that the email connection is being coming from a reputed IP, but if the content which is being sent within that email contains any malware, okay, any high level malware, you would also be getting the malware layer here in this, but that is like the anti-malware policies and stuff. That has nothing to do with this. This is the hard-coded one. And, even the highest global administrator or the exchange administrator would not have any control on these two layers. This is, as I've told you, this is hard-coded. This is hardly implemented, and you cannot change this architecture. So connection filtering and anti-malware are the ones. If there would be any malware, you know automatically that email would be sent to deleted items. So you need to understand that whenever an email is sent from the same organization, that is considered to be an internal email. So let's say if there is a domain called as nori12.com, where there are two users on that domain, user 1 at nori12.com and user 2 at nori12.com, and if user 1 sends an email from nori12.com domain to another user of the same domain, the email would not even go outside your organization, meaning that the email would never go to MX Record or to the internet. It would be sent out from this mailbox to that mailbox, because this architecture or the mechanism would still be the same. But even in that context, if someone tries to, and for those, for that context, your filtering services are always kept, because if you would be checking the filtering service layer, that is the SFV, the spam filter verdict level within the email headers, which we checked in the previous email, that would always be marked as -1. So -1 means skip. So filtering, because it is common sense that same domains within a same tenant, it is just like you are betraying your own thing. So it is not being designed, because for same domains added in a same tenant for same users, you would never see the filtering service, and that is the reason anything which you would be sending to your internal users, you might have noticed that things come very fast. It would hardly, if it takes 2 seconds, then the external email would at least take in like 3 to 4 seconds. This is how you bifurcate it between an internal email and an external email. But why I'm saying giving you this big example in over here is, even if you would be sending this big email at this point, at this point in over here, it was simply going to send these emails, and it is simply going to block in these emails. Now, why it is going to block those emails is a big question. Why it is going to block these emails? Why? Because that email actually contained a malware, though it was an internal email, but it actually contained a malware, and that is the reason, because it was hard coded, it would directly remove that email. Now from this place, where the transport rule gets in picturized, your exchange administrators would be able to make a complete control of it. Why? Because from this layer itself, the transport layer, your exchange administrators or the global administrators would be able to make the changes, and they could create their own transport rule, their filtering services, And when we say filtering services policies, it would be anti-phishing policy, anti-spam policy, and all these policies in over here. And whatever action you are going to be defining into those filtering services or the filtering policies, those action would be taken. So when it comes to, you see, it says as optional to both of these layers. So let's say if some email is coming, so the SPF check, the DKIM check, the DMARC check, all those are going to take place on this place, transport layer at this, or the policy filtering layer. Okay, and it could also take in place in between this where ATP sits, and also the content filtering. So content filtering would completely be talking about the email, the content which would be there within the body of the email. So on the basis of that, if your administrator thinks that I would be making my policy more aggressive, and if any emails which I feel is not a legitimate email, I would not be dropping that email to the user's junk folder, but to quarantine. Okay, if content filtering thinks that these emails can easily be selected or sent to the feedback for Microsoft, you can easily get it done from here. But when you say that if everything gets checked by or gets passed by, you can easily deliver or the EOP would easily deliver the email to the recipient's mailbox. Let's say if I've configured a policy which says if the email is considered to be a spam, then just deliver the email to the recipient's junk folder. So the junk folder also exists into the mailbox. So yes, it is going to deliver the email from all these check passes from these layers to the recipient's mailbox. Okay, it would deliver the email to the recipient's mailbox, but it would deliver it into the junk folder and not into the inbox folder. So this is all about the structure or the mechanism as if how does the EOP filtering works, and we are also going to look on it once we are done with this PPT session. Okay, now where exactly you would be finding the Exchange Online protections being widely used, and because of these features over here, this is being widely used and has been served across millions of users for Office 365. The very first thing it gives you is total security, 100%. It gives you total security irrespective of whether you would be using this filtering services or some other filtering services. It is just the experience of the human touch. But yes, all of them almost gives you total security, because if their email platforming system is not secure, then it is being quite risk being getting those filtering services and hosting your mails onto their mailboxes on their services. It has its control, yes, though the control gets started from the connection filtering point. You can make n numbers and 100 numbers of connections in over there using customized transport rules, using creating phishing policies, ATP policies. You can get it controlled, and you can also control your spam filtering on the international level. Let's say if a connection is ping coming from a specific IP address whose list is already blocked, you can get it done. You can you can prevent the loss of emails by creating the necessary amount of transport rules. And if one of your users complains or says that I want emails coming in from this domain or from this sender because that sender is a legit sender and I want this, so you can just go ahead and create a transport rule, or the Exchange administrator can simply add that person to the safe senders list of that user, and with that that thing would be easily tackled and catered off. Okay, you can, using EOP filtering services, you can easily send and receive in risk-free emails. You'd be able to have a control on bulk mail filtering. The reason being, Office 365 filtering services are not meant to be for bulk email sending. So to a certain point of an exaggeration level, yes, your emails would be getting and blocked if you continuously try to send emails from one single IP or from one single mailbox. Office 365 to a point would block those emails, and you would have a customized content filter. And yes, you would also be having this tool as message tracing. We have prepared a separate video for message tracking as and to be able to understand as of how does message tracing works. Okay, this is all about the features within Exchange Online protection. And a very common question where people would like to understand that what are the consequences or what are the possibilities where an email can be marked as a spam from the EOP filtering services, because there are a number of people who complains that this email was not supposed to be getting and marked as spam and this and that. So they need to understand this very very carefully, I would say, because this is something on which the architecture of the spam filtering layers of EOP is being designed. But yes, there are some things which are not being published by the people who have actually designed the EOP filtering services, because if they are going to decide that feature, or they are going to give those numbers, so it would be a pretty easy pickup for the attackers, and the attackers can deploy or design their own architecture and an active against shield against the EOP, and it would be pretty tough. But still, Office 365 gives you this opportunity to be able to understand. I mean, these features would simply not be available on any public facing article of Microsoft or on any third party site. This is what we have prepared by getting in merged with several Microsoft Mailflow SMEs, and having a very close discussion, as working on several and numerous amount of cases, but working with senior escalation engineers and with the technical advisors. So how can an email be marked as a spam? If the SPF policy, we discussed this in our last video about SPF DKIM and DMARC. So yes, if your SPF record gets failed, 100% your email value, that is the spam confidence level, is going to mark as 9. So anything which is more than 5, automatically it is considered as a high confidence spam. So 5, 6, 7 is normal spam, and 8 and 9 would be high confidence spam. And it would be high confidence. For high confidence spam, the default action which is set into the spam filter policy is quarantine the email. If it is 6, 5, 6, 7, usually it would be to be able to deliver the email into the junk folder. Okay, if the sender address and the reply address, the return part, that is the from address and the mail from address, does not get smashed. In the third point itself, if the P1 header and the P2 header does not get smashed, if the email has multiple different from address. So this could be a scenario wherein there would be an email loop where the from address continuously gets changed, however the return path continues to be the same. So when in that consequences, your email is going to be get marked as spam. Again, if the DMARC and the DKIM record check fails as well, so literally any one of this gets failed, SPF, DKIM, DMARC, your email is going to get as marked as spam. Let's say if the email can also be get marked as spam if it would be a bulk email. Now when I say bulk email, it would be one single email to a saturation point. One single email is being continuously sent out 2000 times, 3000 times. So for 3000 instances, it is not going to get marked as spam. But on 3000 first one event, it could be getting in marked as spam. So that the 3000 first email would be getting in marked as spam. I'm just giving you this as a random number to be able to understand, because Microsoft uses its own algorithm to be able to mark an email as spam or spoof, or based on its own algorithm and past records. So if the email is coming in from an IP address that has a bad reputation, or is used to send emails, used to send spam emails in this past, because these records and data is pulled upon from the external DNS, so it would be picking in up a check. And if Office 365's EOP filtering services feels that this is not being coming up from a legitimate IP address which has a bad reputation, it would be marking that email as a spam. And if the content of the emails or the attachment is considered to be suspicious, where ATP came into the picture initially, when it was not there, it was a part of EOP, but it was quite what do we say, fluffy, where sometimes it is going to, sometime it was supposed to capture it and sometime it didn't. So that was the reason ATP came into existence, and with the help of it, anything which has the safe links or safe attachments, and it created its own database. Definitely it is a part of EOP, but it created its own database, so that it has started keeping a close look on the safe links and the safe attachment policies over here. So that would be all from my side for this session. Hope you guys have enjoyed this session, and if you have any queries, feel free to contact me on this. And just before we end up with this session, as I've told you that I will also be giving you a close glimpse on how does these policies look alike. So if you would check with the Exchange Admin Center, let me open the classic Exchange Admin Center. Though this one has been completely moved to the new portal, but still the reason for me to show you this portal is simple. I assume, why is it not getting open? Allow me one quick moment. I'm just not able to understand as of why it this connection is not being acceptable. Let me give one more try. If it is not allowing me, I hope this time it did. Sorry to take like 10 seconds or 50 seconds of yours for this to be get it open. Sorry about that. My apologies. Oh, I believe no, it just opened the new admin center, but it failed to open the classic admin center. I believe it is simply not. It would simply not be allowing me to be able to open it. Let me give this try. If it allows from this portal, I would just like to show you that option. I mean, how it was looking in the classic Exchange Admin Center portal. What has just been changed, because you'd be getting a close idea on it as of how it was looking in. I believe it is just not being allowing me for the cookie sessions which is being there. Because many a times, this screen is going to go away. outlook.office365.com/ecp. If it allows this time, well and good. If it does not, then yes, we would be going with the new portal. Lucky, yes. Finally, it took like 1 minute of the time, and there it is. Everything, every content of this is being moved to that anti-malware page, which is a part of securityandcompliance.com. And if you see, so this is the very first one, the connection filter. If you have been seeing the diagram carefully, that is it, connection filter and anti-malware. So as per the diagram, these options have been created, and even if you would be having an option to be able to, I'll just show you these options in the new admin in the new security and compliance portal. Malware, so these two things in over here, you would not be having any control on it, though you have given these options in over here, but this would be hard coded. Spam filter is the one from which you'd actually go ahead and start making use of it. So this is spam filter, and this is just to send emails from Microsoft's environment to Office to the internet. So this is just for inbound purposes. Now coming back onto this portal, so this is it. This is all it. If you see anti-phishing, anti-spam. So if we click on anti-spam, this is the inbound policy, which is called as the default spam policy. You see, always on. There's no option to turn it off. This is your connection filtering policy, exactly the one which I showed you. And on the basis of this, if you see, you can easily get the IP addresses which you would like to allow, and you can easily get the list of IP addresses which you'd like to get it blocked. Meaning there are some IP addresses from your company or from your partners or your vendors who say that, hey, I accept the connection from our side. So if you would be giving that number to Microsoft to this policy, it would keep a note of it and it would not mark that emails accordingly. If it is blocked, it would block it. If it is allowed, it would allow it. But despite of it, the IP addresses which would be having a bad IP reputation over the internet as well, so those connections are not going to entertain here. Okay, so this is how they have just given us this option in over here with connection filtering policy. When it comes to the inbound policy in over here, we did talk about the international spam, and those all options are available. You see, international spam, it is being turned off. So if you would go with these options in over here, you have all these options. Bulk email, so this is the number. Now no one can tell what this number, this is the default value. If I click on edit, if someone wants to send more emails, so they can increase the number to 8 or 9, but the default, you see, recommended. If I change it to this, now no one knows how many emails are there if these emails are sent from an Office 365 mailbox, then it would be considered that 2000 emails represent number 7, 1500 represents number 6. It has its own algorithm in over here, so no one knows that. It is just that this one is taken as the default value in over here, so that is being set. If you see the spam score mark as spam, what do you want to do with your email? If it is being coming through, if it the HTML, the coding language in over here, the programming language, whether it is in the form of the HTML code or in the form of the VB scripts, so what to do within those scenarios. And the most important thing, as if what action you take on these stuff. So if you see in this, if it is considered to be a spam, that is the SCL value, that is if it is 5, 6 or 7, the default action is move that email to a junk folder. Okay, if it is a high confidence spam, that is 8 or 9, you can quarantine that message, or you can delete it, or you can do nothing, even nothing, redirect that email. You can do all of these options in over here. You can make these changes onto the default spam filter policy as well, or you can create a new custom spam filter policy of your own and get these things defined. So it is totally your your choice, or you would say your head, as if how you would be liking these services or features to be getting in avail and get it used across Office 365 channel and use these services. And outbound policies has nothing to do with this. In case if you need to uh, forward emails across your tenant and get these things done, so you would be doing all these options in over here. You see forwarding and all these limitations in over here, but these limitations would be applied for the mailboxes which would be sending emails from your environment over the internet. Okay, that is where outbound policy is going to get used. And yes, that is it. That is pretty it. I believe I was able to walk you through with this protection tab. Just wanted to show you this option in over here. This is the quarantine page wherein you can go and release those emails. Okay, you can also get it done, because none of this action or the option usually works. All of them have been just migrated or switched to all these options in over here: the DKIM, anti-phishing, anti-spam, anti-malware, safe attachment, safe links, everything deployed as a separate identity in over here. Okay, if you would be having any questions for this, for email filtering services, for spam, for DKIM, for spoof, anything which regards with email filtering services, and with this video itself, you can contact me on info@alifconsulting.com, and I believe I was able to deliver you this lecture in a prominent manner. And if you would be having any queries, feel free to contact us. We guys are here to ensure that your issues are taken care and your concepts are clear in real quick time. Okay, that would be all from my side for this specific lecture. See you guys the next time. You take care of yourself and you stay safe. Have a good day. Bye bye.